Welcome back. The Montgomery County School Board has approved new superintendent Monica McKnight's $320,000 salary. Now, that seems like a lot, but Nicole, that's apparently only $25,000 more than she was making on an interim basis, and actually not that much more than she was making prior to that. But still, are school administrator salaries too high?
You know, the Republican in me wants to say yes, but the parent in me says no. I will say that when you take a look at comparable school systems to Montgomery, closest one would probably be Fairfax County Schools. They make $350,000 with a robust benefit package, and there are all kind of benchmarks that kind of bonus out when kids do really well and the teachers do really well. You know, this is one area I don't think that we should be overly frugal on. You know, it's kind of like being a president of your own your own country, leading a school system. So she needs all the help that she can get. And if that salary helps her stay, and they got her for $25,000 more than what she was already making, it's a win. It's a win for everybody involved.
So Nancy, one of the things I've noticed over the years about Montgomery County, I came from upstate New York, and in upstate New York, in the newspaper, you always had to print the salary of a new position, and people were very, very sensitive to how much people made. Here in Montgomery County, not so much. I don't recall ever any political pushback about salaries, whether it's school superintendent, police chief, or even, dare I say, a county council member. That's so, and if so, why?
Well, I think what we would do if we had a question as a member of the council, what we would do if we had a question about a salary, we'd say to our staff, well, how does this fit into the scale of things? Mm-hmm. Particularly with MCPS, look, she is running a $3 billion business. Mm-hmm. She has to deal with 150,000 kids. I mean, people don't even appreciate the magnitude of that job. And that's also true for many of our highly paid administrators within Montgomery County government. They're serving 1 million people. People forget, and a county that's 500 square miles, people forget the extent of obligation that leadership has in Montgomery County. And you got to pay people a fair salary, and you got to keep them. The last thing you want is a lot of turnover. So we would ask, if we were to have a question, we'd at least ask staff quietly, how does that fit in with the scale of things out there? And they'd say, well, typically it's Fairfax. What does the police chief over there make? What does the superintendent of schools make? They're really our benchmark for these kinds of jobs. So, you know, it is what it is. But, you know, this is a very expensive place to live as well, remember. And that plays into choices, candidates' choices of wanting to be part of this community, because they could go elsewhere, make maybe less money, but have less to deal with. We're not an easy group.
We are not an easy group, so that's we'll underscore that. And it's also true that having been a senior person in a position in Montgomery County is actually really, I think, a good resume builder to be able to go on to move to another job. But now let me turn it to a kind of related issue, and that is MCPS, the new superintendent McKnight, has proposed creating several new administrator positions, which would be at the higher level, the senior sort of in the organizational chart. Now, what was interesting, at least to me, was that when Superintendent McKnight came out with that, the teachers union, MCEA, came out and said they were against that. Now, that's kind of telling. Is the superintendent getting off on the wrong foot with important stakeholders?
I don't think so. I think what she's doing is building the way it should be built. When you take a look at Fairfax, even Howard County schools, there's an infrastructure that allows the leader to be a bit more flexible with the things that she's going to do based on having like the second row of administration, the third row of administration, kind of assume some of these other things. It is important as a leader that you have a good team. And I don't fault her for that. I think, you know, coming in and playing nice is one thing, but when you're coming into a job that's so highly publicized with all of the eyes on education, politically especially, this is not a place where she wants to make a misstep. She does not want to ruin this opportunity.
But Nancy, let me come back to you with the politics. So,
Yeah.
I mean, I think the general perception had been that she had the support in her selection from the teachers union, from MCEA, and sort of very early in her tenure to have this, I don't want to overstate it, but to have this disagreement with the union as to whether or not these additional business positions should be created. Is that a warning sign? Is that something that should be troubling?
Well, I think, MCEA does not go along to get along. They're gonna establish their position on things. And these positions are not union members, remember. They speak for the teachers and the sport people. Actually, there's several different unions that represent them all. So they're gonna make the kinds of statements that you would expect. We need more teachers, pay them better. Don't spend money on you people. That's not natural. I don't think it's a huge issue, but I think it's a message to their members who they're gonna fight for.
So in fact, I guess that is an important point, that they wouldn't be part of the unions, and certainly the union supports putting money into the classroom and
Yeah,
not,
sure.
not elsewhere.